Welcome back to the All In, All On X podcast, where we take you behind the scenes of full arch dentistry, innovation, and the people who are redefining what's possible. Here we go beyond the procedures and into the lives of people shaping full arch dentistry. This isn't just about implants or workflows. It's about the lives we build, the decisions we make under pressure, and the leaders who push this profession forward when no one's watching. Get your head straight, because we're about to go all in. It's been a day, brother. It's been a day.
Going out going out with a bang.
Let me tell you about today, man. I showed up, delivered full zirconia finals while the anesthesia did intubation and induction. Upper FP1, lower, ran around clinic, did some consults, some more pros, blah, blah, blah. Another set of finals, ran in, and I did my biggest revision case I've ever done on my own work.
Oh,
yeah. No. Oh, yeah. I had this, she's still recovering now, but the sweetest lady. She was in an upper FP1 and kept breaking the temps over and over again. And then next thing you know, a few implants fail, and I replaced the implants, put her in zirconia. I said, don't eat on this. I know it's zirconia, but I don't want you to break these temps. Then she comes back like a month later and the implants are failing. And she says, I find out she's been eating raw vegetables.
Oh.
Carrots, plus she's got a very low FMA. She's a nutcracker, man. Just bam, bam, bam. And I realized she was on Adderall, grinder. So, upper FP1 temporaries are not made for carrots, Adderall, and low FMAs.
No. Not at all.
So I did a FP3, pterygoids, zygos. I mean, everything.
This afternoon?
Yeah, I had to. I wanted to get it in, but I wanted to get this case moving along, so I wanted to get it before the end of the year. So,
right.
Yeah, with the bone loss on the implants, it became an FP3.
She did it to herself. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I could say case selection, but she needed the work,
Right.
I mean, she needed it. She had nothing before, like just a bunch of rot.
Oh,
so,
man.
but she definitely in large part did it to herself. I always blame myself a little bit too. Like, I don't know. Could I have done it? Could I have explained it better?
No. Patients have to assume responsibility. Like when you're eating raw nuts during the healing phase, not raw nuts, but raw vegetables during the healing phase, that is, I mean, that's just common sense. Can you cut it with a fork? A plastic fork? No? Okay. Then
that's what I tell them. Yeah, like, you have to cut it with plastic fork to eat it. But I mean, I tell you what, I cried myself to sleep every week, breaking one temporary a week for like the last few months. I was like, what am I doing wrong?
I was traveling from Utah to Arizona when we were trying to do this the first time. And so I was really relieved when you said you could do Tuesday, because I'm at home alone. I got nothing to do. I'm just printing some like prototype parts for a denture protocol that I'm wanting to try out. So yeah, I got all the time in the world.
I've been like beating my head over a chair all day, and you're like making drawings of screws and stuff.
Yeah. Well, so I did go into work today. I prepped a maxillary arch of teeth. I still cut teeth, right? You're the lucky one. You're the lucky one who just slings them and replaces them with titanium foundations. Are you prepping teeth these days?
I refuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah. So I did a maxillary rehab, and took me longer than it should have, but it's not zygoma, pterygoid revision surgery. That's for sure.
Well, I don't want to hold myself out to be some kind of a hero. I'm just dealing with what I've got, I mean, you gotta fix what you got. Before we get into this episode of the All In, All On X pod, I want to talk to you about something that I use with all of my patients, Stella Life. Stella Life is a pre and post-op recovery system designed around something that every surgical clinician cares about, healing that actually works. Stella Life's award-winning recovery kit supports accelerated healing, non-toxic
non-toxic antimicrobial patient comfort and provides a natural alternative to opioids and chlorhexidine without the staining, without the unpleasant taste, and without interfering with fibroblast activity. Stella Life is non-toxic, sugar-free, gluten-free, and is manufactured in a GMP facility in the U.S. It's a system trusted by clinicians like myself who give it away to all of my full arch cases. Trust Stella Life. Less opioids, faster healing, happier patients who know you care.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah, because I mean, you kind of need no introduction, but you might. I don't know. There could, for the non-dentists out there, because I know every dentist under the sun who's ever looked at or dreamt of titanium already knows Brandon Kofford. Already, no doubt. Probably, and their wives. Oh my God. But no, for real. All right. Today in the All on X podcast, we're joined by Brandon Kofford, a true innovator who's changed how full arch dentistry is delivered and scaled. We're going to talk a lot about that. As the founder of Smart on X and Smart Denture Conversions, Brandon, you've helped thousands of clinicians reduce friction in immediate load workflows while improving consistency and the patient experience. Your work sits at the intersection of innovation, education, and execution, all three. You're a respected voice, not just in product development, but in how modern practices are built and scaled. And this conversation is going to go way beyond products. We're going to talk about your vision, your execution, and what it really takes to move the profession forward. So, with that, welcome, Brandon Kofford. This is going to be a real treat.
Well, thanks, Adam. It's an honor to be with you. I don't know that you're correct in saying that everybody who's done immediate load, anybody who's doing titanium knows my name. I think a lot of people, I mean, I'm still a nobody from North Carolina. So it's an honor to be with you because I do know that you are a heavyweight in the world of full arch fixed. So
one arch at a time, man. But I mean, you influenced my life for sure. Okay. Because back in the days of analog workflow and there's still a huge need for that. We're going to talk about that. But before I was all digital, your smart denture, those little smart denture conversion copings probably reduced my fracture rate in temporary prostheses by like 80-90%, right? Do you have statistics on that?
So I don't, other than my own anecdotal evidence in my own practice, going from a 25% fracture rate down to like a 5% fracture
Yeah.
rate. And then, it's been crazy because some providers, they will, they say, oh my gosh, your solution has completely eliminated fractures in my practice. And then other people who are just so resistant to change, they actually blame smart denture conversions for a higher fracture rate in their practices compared to their conventional conversions. And you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Why?
The big holes all the way through the denture, and like it defies logic that would ever be the case. But it's just really interesting how resistant people are to change and innovation, and how they'll convince themselves of the craziest things.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, how can you just intuitively, you increase the thickness of the material and you decrease the vacant void space. How can you argue that you get a weaker prosthesis? That blows my mind.
Yeah, it blows my mind too. I'm thinking specifically about a practice in San Antonio, Texas. It's a corporate practice that focuses on full arch fixed. And I went down and I taught them how to use smart denture conversions, and their lab manager swore that smart denture conversions was responsible for a higher fracture rate in their practice. And so they went back to conventional conversions. And they're the only ones in the country who have ever made that claim. So it defies logic. I don't get it.
That's got to be a corporate financial decision. They just don't want to. Maybe it's a couple extra bucks. They got to trim some. I mean, wouldn't you think finances come into that?
I would think so, but I wish people would just be honest about it, and that's totally fine. If that's the reason for not using it, great, just say it.
Sure. Yeah. No. I get it. Man, I'm sorry to hear that you go through that. I mean, the politics of full arch though too, right? isn't it, or just dentistry in general, it blows my mind. Sometimes it makes me want to kind of crawl up, into a corner and just be like, I'm done with all this nonsense. I just want to kind of go back and deal with my family. I mean, you've got to be at the forefront of a lot of crosshairs too, because you're competing financially.
Yeah, right. So, we developed smart denture conversions, and people didn't like the price, even though I based it off of Blue Sky Bio pricing, which isn't known
Mm-hmm.
as a premium product, right?
Right.
So, but then one of the large corporations here in the U.S. that focuses on full arch, they convinced Straumann to go ahead and try to get around our patent. And right now we're in the middle of a litigation over we allege that they're infringing on our patent, and they allege that our patent is it's not valid. And
Mm.
so there's just this, it's amazing. I really wish that I could just crawl back into my own little corner and just do dentistry, but um,
Yeah.
I'm having to slog it out with the largest implant company in the world
Mm.
to defend the intellectual property that we've gone through the proper steps here in the United States for protecting it, and they
Yeah.
just have unlimited funds to squash us out or squeeze
God,
it
man,
out.
I don't even know where to start with that. And I'm not sure how much you want to talk about it, but yeah, the unlimited funds. I mean, they've got pockets are deep, deep,
Yeah.
deep, deep. I hope that they're not just going to try to bury you. And I mean, because you're a good guy, your products work. Clearly, you're an innovator. I mean, you deserve not just credit, but you deserve some financial credit for this.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was hoping for, but
Yeah.
uh, you know, uh, there's a lot of forces against it. So there's inertia, just institutional inertia,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's some corporate greed, right? So if
Right.
you develop anything that's going to subtract from their revenues, such as my products it's gonna cut into their temporary cylinder sales. Okay.
Right. Right.
Well, so they're gonna come at you and try to defend those sales, and then now that we've got the omnibutt, that's cutting into their abutment sales, and so they're gonna try to bury us in the abutment. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's been really interesting. All I'm trying to do is make life easier for me and my fellow clinicians.
Right.
And yeah, it's just the inertia and the corporate um, influence has been very eye opening. It's been crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I can't imagine. That's a lot of stress too, because this has been your life work for 10 years now, right?
Not 10, but 6.
Okay.
Yeah,
6. Oh
7,
God, it's
7 years. 7.
it seems like it was like 10 or 12 years ago. I was talking to you about getting these nice little
Yeah,
ceramic screws in my office. That's nuts. It was only how far we've come in 5 or 6 years.
yeah. It's been very fast evolving, and I still
Yeah.
remember our first phone call. I,
Yeah.
I'm just this nobody from North Carolina, and I'm getting a phone call from Adam Hogan of the Atlantic Implant Institute. What the heck? That was awesome.
No,
Yeah,
no, come on,
yeah,
man. I've been using your products for like years before that. I guess I must have just jumped on right when they came out, and I
yeah.
just thought it was always there.
No, you were an early adopter.
Oh, okay. Here I thought I was missing something. I was like, I thought to myself, how did I miss this? Probably 2017,
No,
18, 19, I guess. I was like,
yeah,
how did I miss this? This is amazing.
yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah. You
then,
were a very
for
early
that
adopter.
practice out in California to say it's difficult how much time did I save chairside, converting stuff, and how much dust and dirt and debris? For those who don't know, by the way, if you're out there listening, so we're talking about smart denture conversion, and it's conversion caps, copings that go on your MUAs, and they're smaller, lower profile. They have this breakaway screw, so it's much easier to capture the denture and then trim it and convert it and deliver it. I think we probably did it, and I haven't done a lot of analog in the last few years, but it probably shaved 70% of the time off the process, probably a good set chunk,
Yeah,
2/3 of time in the
yeah,
process, plus eliminated probably 80 or more percent of fractures in the healing phase. And that's a no-brainer, because if you're running a practice, emergencies and chair time and broken teeth will ruin not just your day, but it could ruin your bottom line for a quarter or a year.
Right.
Right?
Totally.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there probably don't know what their chair time is, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
they don't know how to value their chair time either. But they also, so one of the things that I like about you, Adam, is you're a business guy, right? So you think business strategy. And so it is hard to scale a full arch practice if 25 to 30% of that practice is just managing complications of any kind, failed implants, broken prostheses, or anything. And
right,
so when we're dealing with this type of treatment, the key strategy is to eliminate or reduce to as close to zero as possible the non-productive use of your chair time.
right.
So
Yeah.
kind of how I just think about smart denture conversions and other developments in full arch fixed. It's all been driven towards or driven by the vision or the goal of reducing complications.
I mean, it's huge. I mean, we opened this pod with me talking about complications, and
Yeah.
I remember Carl Misch saying, this was 15, 20 years ago, and he said somewhere, he said the complications from one bad case can eat up the profits from the next 10.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
And yeah, and I thought he was crazy 20 years ago, but absolutely. I think about this one case, how much time I've spent, not just time in the chair, but time taking phone calls and text messages on a Saturday or a Wednesday night, and then troubleshooting, come on in, what's going on, oh, here's another free temp, another free temp, another free temp, must be my fault, I don't know, we'll figure this out. And just dozens of hours.
Yeah. And
And
so
it's
there's that way to think about it, the hours that you've invested into it, but you're also a compassionate guy. And I know this because I know patients of yours. You're a compassionate guy, and it eats you up when
yeah.
things fail. And so you have that emotional toll as well. Anybody who's doing this type of life-changing work, you know that there's a human element to it, and that human element just, it
Yeah.
keeps you up at night when things aren't going the way that you want them to. So predictability, low complication rates, that's all just part of having a good time and enjoying your life as a full arch provider.
Enjoying our life. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about enjoying our life. Are you doing much of that these days? Or you busy, or what's your hobbies?
No, it's been pretty busy, just focused on this lawsuit that we have going on. And I have 6 children, so 2 of them are out of the house, but that keeps me up at night just thinking about them on their own. And
Yeah.
I have 4 children left at home that need dad, and so we've got a lot going on. I look forward to being retired someday.
Yeah. Well, you and me, man, I've decided I'm making a concerted effort in 2026 to schedule off time and schedule family time. So I hope you do the same for
Yeah.
sure. You need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were put on this earth. Maybe God gave us the ability to help people. And I don't take that lightly, because I think this is my ministry, I think, and improving the headspace of people that need this. But at the same time, I think we're better when we take care of ourselves and take care of our bodies just a little bit. So we need to schedule a day off. I think you should schedule a day off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is a good time of year to even be thinking about that, right? Is that a New Year's resolution of yours?
Yeah. So I hired a guy, James Lish, prosthodontist. I've been talking to him for a long time. And the first thing I'm doing when he comes in, man, is I'm taking off 1.5 days a week.
Oh, good for you.
Out of clinical practice. And, I'll still have a day to pod and, do the institute, and I'll still keep that going. But I need a day a week that I can just go spend it with the kids, or go sit in a deer stand or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. I didn't realize that you had hired him.
Yeah. We haven't made it. We're about to make an official announcement. I think half the world, the people that need to know already. But yeah, I guess this is our public announcement right now. I'll probably get him on here and on my AM radio. But yeah, in a month and a half, he's starting here. He was here today, watching and hanging out.
Oh, wow. Watching your crazy day.
Yeah. He saw all of that revision and learned about the history of it. And oh my God. And then earlier we had a nice FP1. But yeah, no, just all the when you work with somebody, and he's an experienced doctor and he's super smart, but when you bring somebody into this world, it's different,
Totally.
the full arch world, and you're just getting all those questions every 5 seconds. It brings you back, and I think you become a better clinician because you have to explain why you're doing things,
Yeah.
over and over again. It's like they say, steel sharpens steel, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what sharpens you every day?
Well, smart denture conversions has made me a lot sharper, because before I had made smart denture conversions, I had only done maybe 3 or 4 arches, and just the restorative side.
Wow. Yeah.
And, I was slogging my way through a mandibular immediate load, full arch fixed, provisional. It was on 6 implants, and it was this sweet little old lady, and she was on oral sedation, so she just wasn't there. And it was a miserable experience. And I just thought to myself, man, this would be so much easier if it was just like a locator pickup.
Right.
And so that's how smart denture conversions came to be, was just an inexperienced guy. I'm a prosthodontist, sure, but I didn't have much experience because I'm military trained. Didn't have much experience in the full arch fixed realm.
Hmm.
And so I just thought through, well, how could I make this easier on myself, and conceived of that idea of the breakaway screw. And I met a guy who had a prototyping business, and boom, the rest is history. But um, I very quickly came into circles that I just never belonged with. Like you were one of the earliest adopters, right? So I'm having phone calls with very experienced full arch fixed clinicians who have done hundreds or even thousands of full arch fixed cases. And so just being able to teach them a simple technique for making their provisional, but then in
Right.
return, they were giving me all kinds of pointers. I mean, you and I, we were down in Orca in
Hmm.
February. What was that?
A year
2020?
ago.
Was it a year ago?
A year ago. Yeah.
So, I don't belong in that organization because I'm just a nobody from North Carolina. But then here I am rubbing shoulders with Adam Hogan, who is running the restorative element or arm of that, and Simon O on the surgical side of it. So it's really made it so that I have opportunities to learn from some pretty great clinicians.
Yeah. Well, I think we all learn from each other. I mean, I'm a nobody from Virginia Beach, Virginia. People don't even know where Virginia Beach is. They all think it's somewhere near Daytona. They're like, is that East Coast or West Coast of Florida? But yeah, I'm just a nobody. I mean, I feel the same way. I'm just up here doing my thing. And I run across people all the time that are smarter than me and doing it better. And you're taking ideas from here and there. I don't know that I've ever invented anything, though. I mean, if I've ever had an original thought, I'm not sure, but thinking about you going back to you, can I just do a chair side pickup on a locator, right? And how would I get a breakaway screw? I think the most simple ideas are genius. I mean, that solved a huge problem right there. I mean, look how big it is that Strawman wants it,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
totally.
if it wasn't genius and amazing, it wouldn't even be on their radar.
You're right. I mean, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, right? And
Right.
so for decades, the standard of care for immediate load was to do that awful denture conversion.
Right.
And I had only done it maybe 4 or 5 times before I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this every time. How can I do this easier?
Yeah.
And luckily, you just lean on some of your kind of some of your training in foundational principles. Because, I came from the Air Force training and we didn't have a whole lot of full arch fixed training at all, but I did have one case where I did a gold bar and then I processed acrylic to that gold bar and had a hybrid prosthesis. That was the most expensive prosthesis I've ever made, by the way, just the amount of gold that I had to cast.
It was an entire quarter of appropriation for the Air Force, probably, that gold bar.
Totally. Totally. So anybody listening who pays your taxes, I appreciate what you did to contribute to my education. But it was that experience of processing the acrylic to the gold bar that gave me the background principle, or the foundational principle of processing and then creating your screw channel. Because we were taught to just screw the bar down to the lab analogs with one screw, the easiest screw to get to, and then you block out all the other screw channels, and then you process the acrylic to the gold bar, and then you just had to go fishing for that one screw. Then once you found that one screw, you unscrew it, and then you drill out a pilot hole through the bottom, and then you take a round burr from the top and you create the perfect screw channels.
Yeah.
So it was that foundational principle that allowed me to then think, oh, well, if I just had a breakaway screw, I could pop it off and then do my laboratory process that I had learned for processing gold hybrid or gold and acrylic hybrid prostheses.
Yeah.
So I do think that the industry needs more people like you and me, clinicians, to think through the problem and come up with solutions that are more clinically expeditious and efficient.
Right.
And I hate to see all of that going to the corporate.
Well, it's not, I mean, they're not going to innovate. They're just going to copy and try to take over, for the most part. And that's just proven what they do. It's always the little man that's creating and then, protecting their stuff, their intellectual property, really. When I saw that, by the way, when I saw that they had come out with that, it came to my office and I was like, oh shit, this is not okay. This is not yours. And they're like, no, it's different. I'm like, no, it's not different. It's not different at all. So anyway, I really wish you a ton of luck. I know you're going through a lot. I've been through a terrible lawsuit with an ex-wife, and that kind of set 5 years back on my life. And I know how that when somebody wants to make it difficult on you and their intent is to, really kind of dig in their heels and ruin your life and swamp you with a lot of litigation and discovery. I know it can be on your plate almost every day of the week. So, I feel bad for you. I know you're going through a lot. If I went through that with an ex-wife, I know what you're going through right now with big corporate group.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, in a way, it is flattering, right? Because it's been funny to talk with them, because they say, oh, Brandon, in 5 years, this is going to be completely obsolete anyway. So we're doing you a favor, kind of that type of attitude, right?
Give it up.
It's like, you're right. In 5 years, it might be obsolete. So why are you making the effort to do anything right now?
Yeah.
Why do that? Well, because it's a great solution now, even today, even with digital. I know that you are completely digital at this point, but there can be a transition for a guy like me who's only doing 2 or 3 arches a year.
Oh yeah.
Coming into my practice and then growing to the point where we're doing over 100. At some point it might make sense to go into digital, but it makes perfect sense to learn how to do analog.
Yeah.
And to do an efficient analog process.
Absolutely. In fact, this would be a good time to share something here. where we got, oh, not this one. Hold on. That's not the one I thought I was going to share. Let me stop doing that one. Hey, but we teach business too. Where is my fundamentals? I had contacted you again, and we've talked many times, but I'm trying to get this up here. I had contacted you about helping us to, here it is, talk about fundamentals, talk about analog conversions. I started out teaching digital workflow, and that turned into, okay, let me back up. I started teaching digital workflow. What I realized from there is a lot of doctors came and didn't understand the basics of full arch. They just want to buy a bunch of equipment, printers, whatever, scanners, face scanners. They want to buy it. They think it's going to make them a full arch doctor. What I learned from teaching digital workflow is two things. One, they didn't have the basic fundamentals. And two, they didn't understand PROS. Okay, they didn't understand, as you call it, teeth in space and vertical dimensions. So I changed into teaching PROS and digital workflow as module 2. But we built this class, and I contacted you, and I said, Brandon, I said, I'm completely digital, but these doctors need to, one, understand analog to be a better digital doctor, but two, not everybody's doing 20 or 40 arches a month. Most people are doing 1 or 2 or 3, and they're probably going to be analog. And so you're here with us on this course. This is not specific to January, or this is just a generic flyer for the basic course, but you should be on this. And yeah, your team is coming up in January and given a tremendous value to the students to learn analog workflow. I mean, do you think that you would be as good of a prosthodontist if you were just coming through in the digital age, or do you think that you actually maybe analog dentistry taught you something?
Yeah, no, analog dentistry has taught me a ton. And no, I do not think that I would be as good a prosthodontist if I had just grown up with digital tools and didn't have any of the analog processes in my quiver. So I do love that you offer this fundamentals course. And I also think that you are kind of uniquely qualified to be the instructor for something like this, because you've been through the pain of the analog world, you've experienced the beauty of smart denture conversions in the analog world, and then you've transitioned from analog processes into the digital realm, and I think you've done that pretty expertly. And so as a mentor, I think you're just, this is a very, very good course. And it pains me to see or hear people talking about, I just want to learn the digital. Well, you're kind of setting yourself up for some heartache, some headache, and some frustration. If you just learn some really fundamental analog principles, then digital is going to make you more efficient.
Right.
But it's going to make you more efficient at being expert and not more efficient at heading towards disaster.
Right. And I know, I feel blessed that I grew up in a world where I had to wax a denture. So now, you set denture teeth on your stone model. And then when I went into exocad and I was doing my own designs for a while, it made sense where prosthetic spaces, learning rules of pros, how do you set the occlusal plane in the mandible, the importance of incisal edge of 25 and 26, all that stuff that you learn from denture making.
Right.
And learn by the numbers. And I think that's what we're trying to do with boot camp fundamentals here. Let's slow down. Let's learn by the numbers, because I'll tell you, 80% of the doctors who came to digital workflow class, they didn't understand the basics of the principles of fixed immediate load full arch. So, I mean, I think that that's a true enigma out there. It's a mystery for most people.
I totally agree.
I got to show you something. You were talking all about, I happen to have this on my desk. I found this like a month ago. You were talking about those sleeves and the gold bar and everything. And I saw my mentor doing that in 2003, 4.
Uh-huh.
And I remember thinking to myself back then, screw this. I'm never going to do this kind of dentistry. This sucks. If people knew how hard it was, I mean, do you see the irony how people are out there like all over the place? Like they get their DDS, DMD degree, and then they have a website that says all on 4, come see me.
Yeah.
You know, 20 years ago, I was like, no, thanks. Amalgam looks good. I'm going to go do amalgam.
JB Dental Lab is the lab that full arch clinicians trust when precision truly matters. Combines advanced digital workflows, photogrammetry compatibility, expert design teams, and high-strength zirconia to deliver prosthetics that fit, function, and last. Their communication is top tier. Their turnaround times are fast and reliable, and their quality is the reason that so many high-volume All-on-X practices partner with JB Dental Lab. Visit jbdentallab.com for reliable, quality, full arch support. Tell them the All-In, All-on-X pod sent you. jbdentallab.com.
The only reason why prosthodontists ever came to be is because the processes that were available to doing specific treatment like full arch fixed or full mouth rehabilitation, it was so laborious that it required somebody who was dedicated to misery to specialize in it. And so, but nowadays I do think that, I'm in some prosthodontic circles and they always joke that, everybody always says that the end of the prosthodontist specialist is nigh, because like you said, I get phone calls from not kids, but newly graduated dentists, maybe 2 years out of their program, and they call me up. They say, hey, I placed 6 implants on this patient and I'm about to restore them, but I've never restored an implant in my life. How do I do this? And
Yeah.
I'm having to give them a crash course, and well, this is how I do it.
Yeah.
But it's been crazy to see how ambitious and how I guess brave new grads are to get into this space. And I don't think that
Yeah.
they would have done that 10 years ago if they had to experience the misery of the analog processes and the techniques that we're using back then.
No. Oh, I know, right? And just the simple fact, just burning your fingers on wax. I mean, Jesus, some people get enjoyment. It's not my enjoyment, but some people probably like it. I guess they call those people prosthodontists.
Right.
All right, I was going to share something with you. I was going through boxes. We're renovating our house, cleaning out the attic. I was going through boxes. I didn't even know I had this. I have my report I wrote in 2003 for my table clinic on fixed immediate load for full arch. Look at that. I've got it in a
Wow.
sleeve. You believe it?
That's amazing.
I haven't even taken it out of the sleeve yet. I'm scared to read it. This was 2003, Lieutenant Hogan.
That's pretty remarkable that they let you do that back in 2003, because you were military, you were Navy, right?
So by the grace of God, I was Navy GPR, and this was not my idea. I've never had an original idea. I told you that earlier.
I doubt that's true.
I was hanging out with the 2 prosthodontists a lot. So GPR, Portsmouth Naval Hospital. It's basically like your oral surgery. They all want you to go to oral surgery. That's what you're there for. General practice residency is a misnomer. You really don't do much else. But it's great. I loved it because I love surgery. But the 2 prosthodontists, they were really cool. It was Commander Bartlett and Alfano, Lieutenant Commander Alfano. And Alfano came to me and he said, you have to do a table clinic this year. And we'd been hanging out. And he goes, you're going to do this. And we're going to do these cases together. I was like, okay, I'm still trying to figure out composite resin, but okay, this sounds good. So, I mean, I think everything happens for a reason, but I learned, by the way, this case was a total failure. It was 2003 though. And I like to blame the other residents in the program, but yeah, that was my first exposure to all on X. And one day I'll get the courage to read this report. I don't know. I might share it with you.
When I come up in a couple weeks for that course, I think I'm gonna find some downtime and read through that, if you don't mind.
Okay. I'd love to hear what you think about it. I will caution you, I am not the literary expert here. Okay. And this is before I was using, Word, Google, Help, Translator, all that, ChatGPT. So again, I'm afraid. I'll save it for you when I see you. So you're going to be you're going to be coming to the course. I heard there was a little back and forth if you're going to be able to make it.
Yeah, I'll be up there. I won't be able to be there the whole time, but I'll be there, I think, on the Friday and Saturday.
Okay, great. I still got it up on the screen. I just realized. Sorry about that. But yeah, if anybody listening, if you're interested in Dr. Athena Godarzi's also joined us from 4M. She's absolutely amazing. If you haven't met her, just a stellar, a younger doctor too, and just a stellar surgeon, general practice, GP, but doing great surgeries. So that'll be a real treat for everybody. So, man, you built quite a, now tell me, I wanted to talk about Omnibut. That's what I'm trying to think of. Omnibut. Do you call it Omnibut or Omniabut?
I call it Omnibut.
Omnibut. Yeah, explain. I know Omnibut, but you got to explain Omnibut for the young docs. Because if you're only, you go ahead, take it away.
So, I try to teach a hands-on course for a large corporation that does everything from dentures to overdentures to full arch fixed. And so I teach some of the full arch fixed stuff. And in my course, I really emphasize the importance of multi-unit abutment selection.
Right.
And because personally, I think that multi-unit abutment selection can really set you up for a good, easy pathway to the final restoration. I tell everybody, focus on getting your teeth in space, optimizing occlusion, and optimizing intaglio design. And if you do those three things, then full arch fix becomes quite predictable, and you can limit a lot of the back and forth. And so because of the importance of the multi-unit abutment selection, I was getting frustrated with only having a straight, a 17, and a 30. Right. And where the Omnibut came from was I was working with a surgeon. I was doing a ton with him, and he had an outpatient ambulatory surgical center, right? And we would do cases there, and our Straumann rep came to us and said, "Hey, we want you to try this BLX. It's just brand new, and we think that you'll really like it." To which we said, "We'll give it a try, but you have to bring all of the parts. We're not buying anything. You bring all the parts, and we'll give it a go." So this was a vertical maxillary excess case with a very thin maxillary ridge. You could only, there was no redirecting the implants at all. It was just right into the alveolus, a 3.5 millimeter implant. That's all we could do. And so I asked my surgeon to place 8 implants. He lost track of count, and he placed 9 implants. And the way that we worked was I would always jump in right after he got the implants placed. I'd jump in and I'd start calling out, "Okay, I need these abutments, blah, 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 blah." So I do that, and I start calling out, "I need a 30 degree, 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 30 degree straight." And it was just absolutely silent from the rep. And I looked up, I was like, "Mitch, what's up?" And he says, "I have 2 17s and the rest are straight."
Oh, no.
And we're talking, it was a flared maxilla. So
wow.
Anyway, you've been in those situations in surgery. Yeah. You can't freak out. You got to keep going. You got to keep your head about you. So I said, "All right, I'll take the 2 17s right here. We'll do straights everywhere else." Luckily, Smart Edge Conversions is going to work because it can accommodate up to 70 degrees of divergence. I'm not worried about locking on, but I am going to have screw channels coming out through the aesthetic surfaces. And then after she heals, I'll have to change out the abutments, and we'll be fine.
Right.
So that's how we proceeded. But I'm still frustrated, so I'm in the other room. I'm grinding on the acrylic, and I'm just rah, 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 rah. And my assistant is a general dentist from Cuba. His name's Ray.
Yeah,
And
I met Ray. Ray's a great guy, smart.
Oh, yeah,
so
you
smart.
have met Ray.
Yeah.
So Ray says to me, "Hey, you know what would be cool, doctor? What if we could have an abutment where you just need one and you could pivot it wherever you want to go?" And I just wasn't in the frame of mind to listen to him, right? Because I'm super frustrated. I'm just trying to get things done, and time's ticking, anesthesia's going, and I just got to get this done. I'm like, "Shut up, Ray, shut up."
Yeah.
So then the engineer who helped me with smart denture conversions, he was in the office with his mom, and I was doing just like a denture reline for her. And so I was packing cord in op 1, and he and his mom were waiting in op 2. And Ray says, "Hey, Dr. Kofford, would you mind if I go and talk to Charles about our idea?" And I asked, "What idea?" And he said, the abutment that does this. And I said, "Sure, go talk to him." So
Yeah.
Ray starts describing this to Charles in his broken English, his endearing, what do you call it, Spanglish.
Yeah, I love it, man. Every time I talk to him, I want to have a Cubano.
Yeah. So anyway, he describes it to Charles, and I'm listening because all I'm doing is placing cord, and I'm trying to not be bored out of my mind. So,
Sure.
and now I'm in a frame of mind. I'm like, actually, that's a really good idea. So I get out of the chair, I peek over the divider between op 1 and op 2, and I say, "Hey, Charles, that's actually a really good idea." So then Charles, the engineer, he's the one who conceived how to make it happen, because I told him the parameter is you have to be able to re-engage it through the prosthetic screw channel.
Right.
And that's an important feature because there are non-engaging multi-unit abutments.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with those non-engaging multi-unit abutments is screws loosen. And if a non-engaging multi-unit abutment ever loosens, then you can't ever reorient that abutment back into the orientation for the prosthesis and have it fit passively.
Right.
You might get
Yeah.
close, but you won't get it passive.
Right.
And so with this abutment, you can loosen all of them. You could even take them out and replace all of them, and you'll be able to get it back into a passive orientation with the prosthesis as the seating jig or the reorientation jig.
And I mean, that is just, first of all, completely novel. First time ever that I've seen something like this. I don't even know how you could possibly replicate it, and I hope nobody tries. But this could help everybody with inventory and ease of selection. When I do a surgery, especially if I'm doing it freehand, I'll spend twice as long selecting multi-unit abutments as I will placing the implants or doing anything else, probably longer. And then you labor over these decisions, and then you find out after the design that they could have been better or they're not quite right. The ability to just kind of tweak something without taking it off and replacing it and losing inventory and losing chair time. I don't care. I don't know what you charge for this, but even if you charged twice, 3 times as much as any other part, it would still save 10 times that money in practice. And I don't know if young doctors realize that. Have you done any studies on cost savings and ROI on this?
No. So again, you're the business guy, and I love that you think that way, because a lot of people don't. My big thing is, listen, this makes it so that you can approach any full arch fixed case with one abutment.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't, I do believe that anybody doing full arch fixed really ought to carry an inventory of multiple diameters and lengths of implants and multiple angulations of multi-unit abutments.
Absolutely.
Because you've been there. You have a case planned. It's planned digitally. And then you get in there and you're like, wait a second, I'm not getting stability here. Let me redirect and get here. Yeah. And if you have that type of flexibility, then you're going to be bailed out of a lot of sticky situations. But if you've only planned for, I need a 3.5 or a 4.0, whatever, in this position in order for my plan to work, oh man, those are the most stressful ways to approach full arch fixed.
I see people, on Instagram, and they're like, it's full arch Friday, and they take a video going down the counter of their 6 implants or their 4 implants that they ordered and set aside in the surgical report that says exactly the size implant, exactly the size this, and exactly the size that. And I'm just like, God, good luck. I hope you get out of there before 5 o'clock with a good product. Unbelievable. I mean, it happened to me today. I did, I've got 3 arches in today, and plus the rest of our clinic. And I had it all planned. I had it all dynamically planned on
Right.
this one case, and all the implants planned, and they pulled them out. And I think 25% of them, we grabbed a different size, just because of the feel of the bone or whatever, this or that. And man, when you go to Zygos, we'll have that discussion on the other side. You better have them
Right.
all of them times 4 for every case. I mean, you never know what Zygo you're going to use. So yeah, big inventory. But yeah, from a business minded perspective, if everyone else were to charge $100 for a multi-unit abutment, you could charge $300, and the practice would still save money, but people don't realize that. I mean, it's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, Brandon, I think as your business advisor, I think you should jack up the price.
Well, so again, I approach it thinking I want to make full arch fixed more accessible and more enjoyable. So one thing that I was not aware of was, I was buying implants at full retail price.
Mm-hmm.
All of my components came at full retail price because, I didn't know that you could talk your sales rep down on price. So like a sucker, I'm just paying full retail price. So I'm buying multi-unit abutments for like $250.
Oh, wow. 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 Yeah. And they're just, oh God, you're so nice, man. You're such a nice guy.
Well, I'm a bit of a sucker. So, one of the benefits of attending a course like Dr. Hogan's, this is a shameless plug for Dr. Hogan's Atlantic Implant Institute, but it is to learn how to economically purchase all of your implant components, learn the business.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it. So anyway, we full retail price of these abutments is $150. Compared
I
to
think it's fair. Yeah.
and this is just me saying, don't be afraid to ask for a discount because that's just our full retail price.
I know everyone, the whole business. I mean, because I'll tell you, dentists are cheap, and I'm definitely one of them. But no matter what you charge for a course, everyone wants the discount to sign up. I mean, it's ridiculous, and we're pulling away from that for sure, because you get what you pay for sure, in education and knowledge. But yeah, everybody wants a discount. Everybody wants it for less, and it's unbelievable. Can you imagine if your patients acted like dentists? And all the patients do want discounts too, but it's unbelievable what doctors ask for.
It's crazy. So and keep in mind, people were asking us for discounts with smart denture conversions, and we said, well, I mean, I set the price at Blue Sky Bio implant pricing, right? So what implant system are you using? And they tell us Straumann. And we said, just use our product at full retail price. You'll be saving money. And they say, no, we get a 40% discount from Straumann. I know, but that 40% discount is still $15, $20 more expensive than our full retail price. Yeah, but we're used to getting a 40% discount. It's still cheaper at full retail. So it's just funny, the mentality of everybody just wants that discount. They don't care what the price is. What they care about is what discount did they get? What % discount did they get?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm all on it. Hey, I want to talk about something else here. What did you talk me into with where is it? I got to try to pull it up here. With the dental implant face off. This thing is going to be huge.
What?
I can't believe I got to share real quick. I get an email hey, Dr. Hogan, do you want to do a webinar with Dr. Kofford about your dental implant and why? I'm like, yeah, sure. And the next thing I know, there's 9 doctors talking implants. What's going on?
So I'm really excited that you agreed to do this, and maybe you did it in ignorance, and that's probably better. But it's really interesting to me that there are so many really good, highly qualified doctors using a variety of dental implants, and for a variety of reasons. And so the thought came to me, it would be really cool to get all of these guys just sharing their why they've landed on whatever implant system it is that they've landed on, right? And I know that you're, at least currently, you're really big into this SIN 360 implant.
Right.
And so this is just going to be your opportunity to kind of face off with 9 other doctors who are going to be giving an explanation for their why, and do it all in one location, and kind of do it in a kind of a debate style where we'll have a topic and then you're given a minute to address that topic. And then all the attendees will get to vote for who they thought gave the better explanation as to why they've landed on their implant system for that topic.
Okay.
So it's kind of like an American Idol kind of approach, but I think it's very valuable information, because all these implant systems are good.
Yeah, sure. Fine, they're fine.
But I want to see who has like the better argument, and just give that out to the audience to decide who has that better argument. So I'm just really grateful that you would be willing to do that.
I'm excited about it, but now I feel like I got to do my homework. So I got to find a day to like think about it or something. Usually, like it's like this pod. I just came from like surgery and just run in here and do the pod. I might actually have to put about 15 minutes of thought into it. But no, I know my implant system, and I've used dozens, I'd say. I mean, I've placed a dozen implants and restored a few dozen more. I mean, it's been 20 some years, and my practice is known as the implant practice in my area region. So I see everything. So I could definitely, if you ever want to design an implant, I could definitely help you out with that, because I've touched all the main ones, I guess.
I'm going to take you up on that.
Okay, good. Because I'm looking to retire and be rich like a corporate giant like you.
Yeah, right.
I want to sit around my kitchen table and draw screws all day. Get paid for it. Hey, I got to tell you, okay, you got a great lineup with so when is this date we're doing this?
January 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
January 12th. Okay. I will put that on the calendar.
January 14th. Sorry, January 14th. January 12th is our practice run with all of the contestants, if you will.
Okay. You've got some great doctors coming. Bruce Smoller is on. He's my buddy. BioHorizon guy, great doctor, great man, good. You got some big names there. I'm trying to think, but have any of them played hockey like me, or am I the only hockey player in the face-off?
So I don't know. I think you're the only real hockey player in the face-off.
Good, because I was wondering, because I want to do this once online, and we'll probably see how big everyone's brass nuts are online. And then I want to get in the ring, or get in the octagon here at Atlantic Implant, and see if everybody has the same tone.
Yeah.
Because I would love to throw a check. I don't know how you did this AI picture. The thing I loved about hockey the most was being the enforcer. I used to fight all the time. But I don't know how you got this picture, but I think those are my skates in that AI photo.
Oh, wow.
That looks exactly like I hung up my skates about 5 years ago. I'm 51. I was about 45, 46. I hung up my skates. I did oh man, I think I separated a shoulder and was doing all on X the next morning, like a pterodactyl. And I was like, I gotta be done with this stuff. But that's great. Your team did really great graphics. I think that even looks like my dumb stance.
So that is all Kimberly. She's amazing.
Yeah, that looks great. I can't wait to check Bruce Smoller when you hear this, buddy. Just keep your head on a swivel, because I'm going to be the guy standing over you, bud.
I am really excited to hear all of the different rationales, and although the interest is full arch fixed, I think there's value in understanding just the benefits of implant systems in general for single units all the way up to full arch fixed. So you don't have to feel limited to just full arch fixed in your explanations, but it's going to be, I think, really, really interesting. And it's, Smart on X is uniquely positioned to be able to pull off an event like this, because implant companies aren't going to want to do this. They only want the attention on them, right? And no competing interest or no competing attention there.
Sure.
So smart denture conversions is agnostic because the parts work on any universal multi-unit abutment. So it
Right.
works on an SIN multi-unit abutment, it works on a Neodent multi-unit abutment, it works on a Nobel, Straumann, Dentsply, you name it, right? And so
Right.
we're just trying to leverage that agnosticism in the implant realm
Mm-hmm.
and provide content that is valuable to, guys like me who are pretty inexperienced in the surgical side of implant dentistry.
Right.
And, you're looking to kind of build out a platform that you can utilize to bring this life-changing treatment to patients. And, you can kind of get lost out there not knowing exactly
Yeah.
the advantages and disadvantages of different implant systems. So I'm just really excited that you and your other um, contenders are willing to share that knowledge
Right.
and kind of position yourself as a mentor to a lot of the doctors who are thinking about building an implant platform in their practice.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
All
awesome.
right. I think it's awesome. And I mean, you're right. You are uniquely positioned for this. It's going to be interesting to hear everybody's take. One thing I've noticed with people in their dental implants, doctors in dental implants, is that there's a huge emotional connection to the decisions, to what the rationale, whether they know it or not. If they trained with a certain system early on, they're likely to use it forever, or 20 years, 10 years at least. And
Right.
they get like, nobody ever wants to admit they were wrong. And so they get to using something for 10 years and they'll just stand behind it. It's like being in a bad relationship or something. It's like having your baby that you're like, you watched it grow up and you're afraid to switch and change and do anything new. And so it'll be good to hear analytical reasons why something is phenomenal. And sometimes we can get lost in that emotional attachment. The same way that people get lost in voting for a president based on emotion or whatever. But I think there's no difference in dental implants. So I'm really anxious to hear what people's logical rationale is for that. And are they willing to admit that there are a few contenders who probably have a decent product?
Yeah, that's one of the big things, right? So especially when you start looking at the price of dental implants,
Yeah.
um, the big players are going to try to shame you into, why would you ever place a knockoff implant
Yeah.
system? And, they try to shame you into those things. And so it's like, well, I know a lot of doctors who place that knockoff implant
Yeah.
system. I know a lot of premium brands who buy those knockoff implant systems and have no problem making money off of them.
Yeah. No, they don't. They copy them and replicate them.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the exception of a few, like 3 companies worldwide, everybody was a knockoff implant at one point in time. Neodent was a knockoff implant at one time.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And I
talking
mean, now it's got a market share on full arch, but yeah, we'll talk more about this on the 14th, but if I can find an implant that does everything my previous implant did, everything with the same results, and I can get it for half the price, like why not? And it can do more. We'll talk about it on the 14th, but it's a no-brainer because you have to have savvy business decisions. $1,200 per case is a big number, or more. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big number.
Yeah.
So,
Well, especially how you began this podcast, what did your mentor say or no, it was Mish that you quoted
Carl, yeah. Carl,
where,
he said, the one failure can erode the profits of your next 10 cases or your last 10 cases or something like that.
yeah, so what's the
100%,
secret?
100% true.
So what's the
Yeah.
secret? Make all of your cases more profitable and try to get that down to your next 5
Yeah.
cases, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a really, really good discussion. And I
Yeah.
hope that it's not the last time that I've noticed that a lot of clinicians are almost religious about the way they practice dentistry. And it's really interesting.
Yeah.
If you ever counter that, they have this religious zeal about their rationales, etc. So I I I hope that we can have discussions about, digital versus analog. You and I, we've kind of had some discussions, digital versus analog, but it's not enough to say digital versus analog, because there's multiple ways to do something analog. There's multiple ways to do something digital.
Right.
And so it would just be really cool to get doctors together who do things differently
Right.
in one arena, if you will,
Yeah.
and kind of debate the merits of their approach. And
It
with a
wouldn't
religious vigor.
The religious figure, right? We don't need all the religious figure, I don't need the burning and the brimstone and the fire and the crucifixes and all that. I think we're all, no matter what implant you're using, I think we all can go to heaven. And it's all the same heaven too. It's all just one heaven, by the way. I'm pretty sure they
Right.
don't make the Presbyterians aren't in their own little chamber. I don't think.
That's true. However, I will say I do think that anybody using neoconvert will go to hell.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's a product of Satan, of
Right.
course. I don't know. Don't sue me. I'm not making any money off this anyway. I forgot the name of the product, but yeah. Hey, look, you guys. I hope you get credit for what you did and what you do, man. I got to tell you that. That's all I got to say is you're a class act, honest guy who had an ingenious, innovative idea, and I just hope that you get some financial credit at the end of the day. That's you deserve it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and your family too. Yeah, I know you worked hard on this. Countless hours away from your kids and your wife to do this kind of project, and I hope you prevail for sure for their sake.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Adam.
I got to ask you, what have we been at this? An hour. I'm going to ask you a couple questions because I pulled off ChatGPT things that you have said. Okay. I want to see if this is true. I want to see. I said, give me some viral quotes of Brandon Kofford. Okay. Have you ever said, the problem with full arch dentistry isn't skill, it's variability. Systems don't replace clinicians, they protect them.
Wow, that sounds intelligent. I may not have used that language,
Okay.
but I endorse the message.
Okay, perfect. How about if your full arch workflow only works on perfect days, it's not a workflow, it's a gamble.
Yeah, I have said something to that effect.
I love it. That's great. And innovation in dentistry isn't about being flashy, it's about removing friction when the pressure is highest.
No,
I don't know what that.
no. Like I said, I'm not a very articulate guy. So if it sounds intelligent, then that's just into artificial intelligence kind of making me sound better than I am.
Well, that's three things that they say you're famous for saying. So you must have got that message across somewhere, although I'm not quite sure what the third one means. I'm going to have to get an attorney to dissect that grammar and maybe argue about it for $6.50 an hour.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, my God. The legal system. I remember sitting in court listening to my attorney, my ex-wife's attorney, argue for 2 hours about what the word shall means. The word shall. Oh my God. I picked the wrong profession, my friend. Sometimes I think.
Yeah. Well, I do get frustrated with the amount of money that I spend on attorney's bills. And I think to myself, man, I should have been an attorney. And then I remember, oh, but then you have to do attorney's work. That would suck.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm done with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I am for sure. In fact, my wife was in legal before she came into this practice,
really?
and because she got tired of attorney work.
Yeah.
She got tired of people arguing and bickering and squabbling over nothing, and couldn't do it anymore. Well, that was one reason anyway. She could. I don't want to steal her story. That's her story, but yeah, that's a big part of it. I think a lot of that work can be miserable.
Yeah.
So,
You know, full arch fix is just such rewarding work. I can't imagine any attorney really ever gets the dopamine effect that we get from, how many arches did you deliver today? Didn't you say like 4 arches?
like maybe 3 or 4 finals, and then we started 2 patients, 3 arches. Yeah.
Yeah, and every time you deliver, isn't it just like, man,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
rewarding?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Mm.
It's funny. My first surgery was leaving, and I was starting my second surgery. I was in the surgery room, and we'd already done the teeth and all that. And they're wheeling her by in the wheelchair. And I don't know why I always feel like this. I always feel like, oh my God, I think I just beat that woman up. Like, I mean, it went well, right? It was totally efficient, all good. But like, sometimes I look at them, they come in the next day or whatever, and I'm like, God, I feel like I violated. In many ways, you do, because
Yeah.
you know, and how she turns and she's just like crying, like, thank you, Dr. Hogan. And I'm like, oh God, thank God she didn't like curse me out. I thought she was
Yeah.
going to kill me. I don't know why I feel like that, but I know it's like it's not like logical, but I always feel like they're going to say something, but they're always just crying and so thankful. And it just makes this ministry worth it.
Yeah, totally. And I like how you call it a ministry. It's
Yeah.
entertaining people's lives.
I stole it from a patient.
Oh,
She told me, and she cried, and about what it meant to her and her relationship with the world and her husband and the Lord, and how it saved her life. And she said, "You're not doing dentistry, you're doing ministry, because you're bringing hope and happiness into the world." And I believe it. I cried. She hit me right between the eyes. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was moving.
that's awesome.
This episode of the All In, All on X pod was powered by JB Dental Lab, your full arch lab partner for predictable, beautiful, and digitally precise results. From provisional same-day conversions to final zirconia, JB delivers consistency, communication, and craftsmanship that elevate your practice. Their proprietary case portal keeps your team connected with quick communication and real-time updates, while their in-house designers and comprehensive full arch services ensure precision from conversion to final zirconia. Looking to grow your skills? JB Dental Lab's Educational Center hosts hands-on courses and live surgeries. Ready to streamline your All-On-X workflow with a lab that truly understands the surgical prosthetic connection? Then visit jbdentallab.com and tell them the All In All On X pod sent you. jbdentallab.com.
And
Yeah.
that's another thing that I think that we get as dentists, especially in the full arch fix space. We get to interact with these wonderful people, and they are trusting us to do some pretty invasive things for them. But they come from all walks of life, and they have so much to offer. And if you just get over yourself and realize that you can learn from them too, then
Yeah.
this becomes super rewarding. And you're a great example of that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to do, one day at a time,
Yeah.
raise these kids and love on my wife, and see one new patient a day, and that'll be fine with me. It's a lot of work. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks online, 3 weeks here in Virginia Beach. We've got the dental implant face off. How can people register for that?
So you can go to smartonx.com, and there's a link to it. I think that's the easiest way to go about it. You might see advertisements on any social media platform, LinkedIn, Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook, etc. But I do think that the easiest way is just to go to Smart on X and click on the link and register. It is going to be the most unique implant webinar I think you'll ever attend. And I'm really, really excited. I'm just really grateful that we have such like dedicated and skilled clinicians who are willing to put themselves out there to and put their opinions out there to help guide kind of the
Yeah.
not the inexperienced, but the ones who are just trying to find their way into becoming that guy in their community. So it's pretty
Well,
awesome.
I think you've got a lot of good friends. You're a likable guy, and I don't think you have any enemies. So I think this community comes together to help you out, and we love sharing knowledge. I love sharing knowledge. I know Bruce does. And it's all about kind of giving back. And after this life is over, we won't really be much but of a memory, but maybe our intelligence and the information we pass on is currency for the next generations.
Totally.
So past that, we've got the Atlantic Implant Institute Boot Camp Fundamentals. Check the dates on me, but I think it's January 23rd, and that's typodonts, didactic, live patient demos, cadavers. It's everything you need to learn the basics of full arch, and this is all built on analog conversion on the prosthetic side. So it's all the basic surgical principles and analog conversion, and we're happy to have you guys there, showing off your talents, showing off your products, which I think are the only way to do analog, or I wouldn't have you there. So thanks for being there for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I really love this course that you're doing. And you and I have talked about how we're going to make this the most unique course and the most powerful course. So I'm really excited about your vision for making this an awesome, awesome experience.
We might have a surprise coming there in the cadaver lab too. We talked about. All right. So you guys got to sign up. We still got a few seats left, but it's going to be a great class. You don't want to miss this. This is quality education. It's purposeful education. It's not just a weekend, blah, blah, blah. It's a purposeful education. Well, with that, Brandon, you got any final words for tonight?
No, just really excited and really grateful to be able to collaborate with you, and grateful for your ministry that is with patients, but it's also with clinicians, right? So I think calling you a minister is a very appropriate way to describe you. So thank you.
I appreciate it, but somewhere, sir, there is some holy water bubbling over. I got kicked out of Catholic school more than once or twice. Well, for suspended anyway. I appreciate your kind comments. They tell me there's forgiveness coming. With that, I'm hoping that I get forgiveness for some of my full arch sins, especially the ones early on.
Well, it's very appropriate that you're working with an implant called Sin, right?
No, it's simplicity, innovation, nanotechnology, my friend. I know, like I've said so many times, guys, did you ever think about the American market when you developed it? Anyway, when we talk to patients, we don't place SIN, we place Versalis. So, which is an awesome implant. All right. Well, I think that'll about do it. I mean, this has been great, man. This is why we exist. All at X exists. This is why we come together as clinicians. This is why we pod. This is why we talk, why we communicate. And this is why you, the listener, you come to courses in person and you go to symposiums in person, and you don't try to learn on the web, on the Google, on the YouTube. Because I'm telling you, YouTube isn't going to teach you the complications and the difficulty management that I, an experienced surgeon, have in surgery today. YouTube teaches you how to do it when it all goes right. But real world situations and real world mentorship and leadership, like Brandon Kofford, that's what teaches you when things go wrong and how to get through it, how to fix it. So I think that, with that being said, man, Brandon, I want to thank you for spending the night with me. This has been great. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're a very authentic individual, and that's what I aim for. That's what I strive to be, and that's who I want to be friends with. People like you.
Well, I appreciate it. It's an honor to call you friend.
Same dear. Look forward to seeing you.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Adam.
All right, take care, buddy. Bye.
Bye.
If today's conversation resonated with you and you're looking to sharpen not just your technique, but your judgment, your discipline, and your long-term vision, then this is exactly why we built the Atlantic Implant Institute. This is not a weekend course. It's not a highlight reel. It's not a collection of disconnected modules. The core continuum is a purpose-built curriculum. It begins with Module 1, Bootcamp Fundamentals, where we establish surgical foundations, diagnostic discipline, and repeatable decision-making under real-world pressure. Module 2 advances into prosthetics and fully digital workflow, where occlusion, vertical dimensions, aesthetics, condyles, and execution all converge. Module 3 tackles remote anchorage, pterygoids, zygomatics, complex anatomy, taught through biomechanics planning and predictable outcomes. We also teach FP1 philosophy, not just FP3 solutions. We teach proportions, not just shortcuts. And because technical mastery alone doesn't build a career, we integrate business, leadership, and operational strategy so that what you build surgically actually works in practice. If you're ready to go all in on full arch dentistry with intention, structure, and accountability, learn more at theAtlanticImplantInstitute.com.